Welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Green Factor, a show where we talk about green design and the business of sustainability. Today we have Coach Shimi, or Mr. Hafizzul Hashimi. And Hi, Coach. Thank you
Hi.
for your time. Sorry
Yeah,
about
thanks for having me.
the sound problem just now.
Yeah.
But we are on right now. So I met Coach Shimi a few months ago in our train the trainer course with Dr. Prepa, and at that time I heard about Coach Shimi and he shared his story, and I feel inspired to about his journey, and that's why I invited him to come over and share his story. So welcome, Coach Shimi.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we before we go into our topic today, I would like to Mr. Muhammad Alodat. Thank you very much for tuning in. Um, and before we go into the show, into the question, can you just share a little bit about your journey and what transpired you to go into this journey right now?
All right. Okay. Thank you, Harith. So, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hafizzul H Ismail. You can call me Coach Shimi. Firstly, let me thank Harith for having me on the Green Factor. It is a really great honor for me, and it's always a good thing for me to share my journey. I am a 42-year-old Malay male. I am currently working as a freelance trainer. I'm doing programs such as team building, presentation skills, stress management, decision making skills, and basically anything which falls under the purview of soft skills. So for today, let me share you a little bit of my journey through life. Currently, I am what you call a chronic disease patient. I am suffering from CKD-ESRF, also known as chronic kidney disease and stage renal failure. So what does this mean? This means that my kidneys have basically shut down. They are not working anymore. They've gone kaput. And I require dialysis 3 times a week. Yeah, so what is dialysis? Dialysis is basically the process of cleaning my blood from all the toxins that happens in our body from our day-to-day activities, and also to actually extract water, water that we ingest from drinking, from food, and so on. Because once your kidney shuts down, your body does not produce urine. At least I still do have some urine, but not a lot. So what happens is that whenever you take in liquids into your body, it does not get ejected out. So your body will have a lot of water retention. So a big part of dialysis is actually taking out this water. And a dialysis session lasts about 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours every session. And I need to go 3 times a week. So it's very challenging. And that is why I'm now actually a freelance trainer, because I have the freedom of working when I can work. And it is not a cheap process. Yeah, each session easily cost me 200 ringgit. That is not inclusive of my medication. For a month, I would easily need between 4,000 to 5,000 ringgit just to pay for my dialysis. Yeah, can you imagine needing every month needing 4 to 5,000 ringgit just for you to maintain your current lifestyle, just for you to be quote unquote normal? Alhamdulillah, luckily I've got some sponsorships from the government, from SOKSU and KESO. So that lessens the burden a bit, but it is still a big burden on me every month. And CKD-ESRF is not only a physical disease; it takes a really big toll on your mental state. If I did not tell you that I was suffering from this chronic disease, a lot of people would not know. A lot of people are actually surprised when I tell them, yeah, I am actually suffering from a life-threatening disease. Because a lot of CKD-ESRF patients, if you see them, they are very lethargic. They don't have energy. And some of them even lose the will to live. But I am actually the opposite of that, and I've got doctors who testify to this. And a lot of people ask me, how do you actually maintain this mindset? How do you still go through life? Because a lot of people who are very healthy, they feel that if they were in my position, they would not be able to do as what I am doing now. I believe that I am doing even better than when I was normal. Yeah, I feel that I've got more motivation, I've got more drive, and I am basically happier in life. I guess Haris can attest to this. He saw me when I was in the TTT. And as a trainer, I try to impart my positive energy to all of my participants. And I am still doing a lot of training. I am going around Malaysia doing trainings, and I would actually love to actually share with everybody my journey so that we can actually, get something positive from this.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit later we can share a little bit more. But since we have, you have touched a little bit about the topic about motivation, and right now the topic we're talking about is happiness. So let's go into that. Like first, how would you define happiness?
Okay, happiness to me is something which is very subjective. Different people find different ways of happiness, but there is one unifying factor that I always believe in, is that the reason why people are not happy in life is because that they try to chase after happiness. From my experience, from the things that I've gone through, not only from CKD, I've gone through a lot of things. Basically, I was a troublemaker since young. So I've been in a lot of hot water. And I find that the reason why we are not happy in life is because of the very fact that we try to chase after happiness. A lot of people believe that I'm going to be happy if I have a lot of money. I'm going to be happy if I have a big house. I'm going to be happy if I have a big car. But I found a lot of people, I found millionaires, even billionaires, who are not happy. And we can see them all around us. There's a lot of examples of people who have a lot of money, who we believe are financially stable, but they are not happy in life. They are always chasing after the next big thing, the next big thrill, because they feel that, okay, if I have 1 million, initially they believe if I have $1 million, I'll be happy. When they get $1 million, I'm still not happy. So maybe if I have $10 million, I'll be happy. Believe me, even if they have all the money in the world, they will never be happy. Because happiness, ladies and gentlemen, is not something that you chase after. Our biggest mistake in life is believing that happiness is something that we have. To me, happiness is actually something that happens when we do things for people. Happiness is a byproduct. It is never a direct product, but it is a byproduct. For example, you make your parents happy, then the happiness automatically comes to you. You make your spouse happy, you make your kids happy. Automatically, that feeling of happiness comes into you. And one of the biggest killers of happiness is when you do not feel adequacy in your life. If you feel that your life is never adequate, you're always chasing after the next big thing, you're chasing after the next car, you're chasing after the next bigger house, you're chasing after the next big payday, you will never be happy and you will be stuck in that rat race forever. So if you want to be happy, in Islam we have this concept of syukur. You need to be actually happy and contented with whatever that you have in life. I've I've had the honor of going all over Malaysia to do my trainings. I've met people in Kuala Lumpur who have one single child, but they are always complaining that they don't have enough money and they are not happy. But I've gone to other places, especially on the East Coast, where their family is quite large. Yeah, I have a friend who has 14 siblings. Yeah, and I've met a lot of people who have 10, 12, 14, even one has 17 kids. But these people, surprisingly, are happy. And they feel that life or God gives them enough. And they feel that this is adequate for me. So if you want to be happy, how do I define happiness? Happiness is the feeling of adequacy in life, where you feel that, yes, I have enough.
Mm. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting way to look because we always thought that happiness is something we have to search, right? But right
Yeah.
now, if you, in your definition, it's about adequacy, feeling grateful, feeling what you have is enough. But right now, we have this. I think we see online. I don't know whether it's because of social media or not. And we are seeing a lot of people with mental health. There's a lot of depression. There's a lot of unhappiness going around. So compared, I think like this coming generation or the younger generation, there's a lot more people that have mental illness, that have depression and all that compared to last time. I don't know whether last time people just like suppress it or anything, and right now because they have social media, so they tell. So are we more unhappy now?
Okay, I look at it this way. Yeah, again, going back to my definition, it is a feeling of gratefulness and adequacy. Nowadays, the current generation, they are being brought up with the concept of instant gratification. You want something, you snap your fingers, and then you get it. A simple example of watching our favorite TV series. I remember growing up, being in front of the TV once a week to watch A Team, watching Airwolf, just to so that you can follow the storyline. But nowadays, people don't do that anymore. You don't wait for your series for maybe 3 or 4 months to complete. Rather, you go to Netflix and you Netflix and chill, and you just do a Netflix marathon, and you get that. And when you grow up with that, when you are coming with that kind of mindset, you feel that if I want something, I need to get it now. But the older generation, we are more patient. We have been brought up with the concept of you wait. Good things happen to people who wait. Yeah, but the current generation is that I want it now. I don't care. Whatever happens, I need to have it within 0.01 seconds. So that is what breeds that feeling of inadequacy. I want it now. So another thing that kills your happiness is that, again, when you feel that it's not enough, you want things to happen according to what you want. For me, I would like to have a normal lifestyle, not having to go to my dialysis center 3 times a week, being able to travel to far and distant places. But now I am somewhat tethered to my dialysis center. Yeah, but things happen. Bad things happen in life. Let's put it there. Yeah, bad things happen in life. You cannot change it. Things have happened. Accept, move on. That is how you become happy. If you are stuck on, I want things to change, I want things to be like how I want it to be, then you'll never be happy. Yeah, so that is why the root cause of the reason we see a lot of people having more mental issues is because that simply they want to be happy right now. And again, like I said, happiness is never a product, it is a byproduct of doing things for people. And the current generation, I'm sorry to say, they are getting very, very selfish. They don't do things for people, they want to do things for themselves so that they think that they will feel happy. Yeah, so that is why we need to actually have this mindset of people first. And well, we are on the green factor anyway. And what I believe is that what we want to do is that we want to have sustainability in our lives. What is life if it is not meaningful? So how do we sustain that life? The fuel that sustains life is your happiness, is that feeling of adequacy.
Yeah, I think as well because of social media, there's
Yeah.
people see like what other people are having. So and most of the time the people that post, that is just the best part of their life. Maybe that is just like a one day thing out of their 1 year
Mm.
that is like so awesome. But because we have that what do you call that, that we compare, right? Because we see our friends, oh they have a new
Yeah.
car, they have a bigger house or something like that. So we cannot help but to see ourselves as not being there, or we need to catch up and those
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
things, right? So
Yeah.
also because we have our day-to-day things, we have our work, we have our family and other things. So there's a lot of challenge as well. I think the what's fair about the earth is, the world is, it's unfair to everyone. So everyone have their own challenges.
Yeah.
So I think the challenges what is things that make us unhappy, at least the way we see it. So how do you think we should see these challenges, or how can
Great.
we? Yeah.
That is actually an excellent question. Again, why do we not feel happy in life? Because we have a misconcept of challenges. A lot of us think of challenges as, oh no, there's something bad. If I have a challenge, then I'm not good enough. If I face challenges, then there's something wrong in my life. No, can you imagine if you live a life without challenges? If your life is a graph, challenges, you have some peaks, you have some lows, but if you face life without challenges, your life will be just stagnant. It will just be a straight line, and where is the fun in that? Happiness is always having fun, and we need to see challenges as things which are not impossible to overcome, but challenges are ways that God is trying to actually build our character. God is trying to make us stronger. God is trying to make us smarter. Because when you face challenges, you start to think in different ways. Yeah, because every challenge comes with its own sets of factors, and no single challenge is always the same. Yeah, although like for me, I'm facing CKD-SRF, but if you or anybody in the audience faces CKD-SRF also, they might not face the same sets of challenges that I face. Uh, to be honest, when I first was diagnosed with this, I faced a lot of challenges in getting people to actually accept that I am facing this illness. I had clients who cancel my appointments. I had people who actually simply ghosted me when they found out that I was not ill, I was not normal anymore. Yeah, but my mindset, I was brought up in a military setting. My dad was a general in the Air Force, and he always taught us never be afraid of challenges. If you have any challenges, face it head on. Never ever run from challenges, because if you run from challenges, a small challenge sooner or later will come and bite you in the backside, and it will be back bigger and larger than before. Yeah, so if you have a challenge, face it head on. Actually, I developed a sort of a model to help people how do you tackle challenges, and I call it the Maces model. So M is mindset. Firstly, when you face challenges, you need to have the correct mindset. A, acceptance. You need to accept things have happened. You don't have a time machine where you go back in time and you can actually rectify that. And then C, you need to have chunking. You need to break up your big problem into smaller pieces. Some of us, we feel like challenges are impossible to actually overcome because we don't do chunking. We try to eat a whale in one single bite, which is impossible. So it goes back to that. Maybe ask as a joke, how do you eat a whale? So you break it up into smaller pieces and you chunk it down. Yes. And E, and then you need to actually be aware of what is happening around you. You need to get information. And finally, you need to have S, support. Now, you need to get support from people around you. A lot of us feel that we are Rambo. We think that we are a one-man army, and if we face challenges, if you ask for help, then you are useless. No. Yeah, because you never know, there are people there who might have faced the same or almost the same problem, who can actually help you and give you good advice. You feel that, oh, if I ask advice from people, then I'm somewhat less than them, they are better than me. So we need to actually swallow that ego and get people support. And no man is an island. Yeah, human beings are social animals. We always need to have hands that are propping us up, and sometimes we need to have shoulders. We need to stand on the shoulders of giants to actually reach our full potential.
Yeah, I think you've you've summarized it quite well, because my next question was how can we become happier. So you've given us the idea, the framework, but how can you add more to that?
All right. Again, to be happier is to have that feeling of adequacy. So how do you have that feeling of adequacy? Is to never ever compare yourself to the person next to you. I really like what you shared just now about social media, where people share about the small good parts of their life. You see somebody going to the Swiss Alps, having trips, going on ski trips, riding a helicopter, or buying a Bugatti, or buying a Ferrari or Lamborghini. But what is not shared is the blood, sweat, and tears behind that story. You might say, oh, bestnya, this guy is going on a week or month-long trip to the UK. But you don't see the effort that leads up to that trip. You don't see the overtime being put inside. You don't see the long working hours or the extra effort needed to actually get money to go on that trip. So if you want to compare yourself, the first thing you need to do is that you have to be in the person's shoes. If you cannot go into their shoes, never compare. You never know what challenges they are facing. You never know what challenge you might face if you try to do the same thing. Yeah, so never compare. And if you are a parent, or if you are even an employer, yeah, if you have subordinates, never ever compare subordinate A to subordinate B, because subordinate A might have their challenges, subordinate B might have their challenges, but they both have their own strengths and challenges that they face. As an employee, what you need to do is that you need to actually know what are their strengths and what are the challenges that they face, so that you can help them. And I actually today, this morning, alhamdulillah, I came across this wellness and happiness report. Just googling suddenly, I saw that report, and it says that after the pandemic, we are actually, a lot of people are a lot more unhappier. And due to the pandemic, a lot of people, their priorities in life have shifted. They've shifted from their careers to something more. Yeah, what is that something more? It goes to the family, it goes to their well-being, it goes to their work-life balance. Now, a lot of people feel like, they just realized, I've been working myself to death, but suddenly when the pandemic happens, I'm out of a job. Yeah, they realize that it is not their jobs that will take care of them when they are down. It is their family, it is the people around them which helps to prop them up when they are down. So how do you become happier? Connect with the people around you. Stop
Mm,
and smell the flowers. You know,
mm,
if you have a friend who you've not contacted for 5 years, after this life, go and send them a WhatsApp. We are living in a time where communication is instantaneous. Anything that you say, that is all what we call alasan. Yeah, it's all you're just trying to get out of it. Yeah. So it goes to the classic Malay rhyme, I guess. Lagu bangau o bangau. Where you have so many excuses to not do things. Bangau oh bangau, kenapa
mm,
engkau kurus? Kalau kurus sebab ikan tak timbul, and it goes. So in life, if you want to be happy, never have excuses. If you have challenges, face it head on. If you have things that you need to do, even if it's not something that you like to do, just Nike. Yeah, just do it.
yeah, so I think you have touched a little bit just now about workforce or staffing and all that. My next question is more on that. It's like how companies or organization um, can, how can they make their workforce happier? So that's if you get what I'm saying.
Yep, I get it. Okay. Uh, the workforce nowadays is a bit different than the workforce that was in place before pre-pandemic. Pre-pandemic times, the way that you make your workforce happy is just giving them bigger pay. But nowadays, and I've seen a lot of companies in Malaysia moving towards this direction. They are providing more towards a work-life balance for their staff. In March, I did a team building for a company who was dealing in fire alarms. And I went to their offices. It's a Wisma. It's 4 or 5 levels. The amazing thing for me was that one floor is dedicated to staff entertainment. They had a fully stocked gym. They have a jamming room with drum sets and guitars and stuff. They have a football table. They have a ping pong table. and they also have next to it is a surau, because the company was 100% Malay. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to look at the needs of your workforce. It goes now. It is more than just getting dollars and cents. A lot of our employees, they like to connect with their colleagues, like to have relationships with their colleagues. And the good thing about this is that when your staff or your employees have good relationships, it usually means better productivity. People work better with each other, and people are actually more tolerant, because I've seen some organizations where the staff do not have any relationships. There are more conflicts happening, because if you know your friend, you know him outside of work, if he gets upset with you on a work related matter, you tend to not take it too personally, because I know how this guy is. I know he's getting upset because of work matters, and always remember it is just business, not personal. The problem with us is that we always take things too personally, especially for Asians. I work with Americans, I work with Brits, I work with German people, and also Japanese. The thing about them is that they don't take things too personally. Yeah, so if you're an employer, try to make your workforce happier by having a semblance of work-life balance. Try not to send messages or emails after 12 midnight. Now, I've had employers who sent me emails at 1 or 2 a.m. and expected me to actually reply before 6 a.m., which is ridiculous. So make sure that although productivity is the bottom line for the company, but there needs to also actually be some sort of release or some sort of way for employees to just simply wind down if they're feeling stressed. There are organizations in Malaysia who do not have permanent seating in their offices. For example, DG, you can do your work wherever that you want. They've got a break room, they've got swings, they've got bean bags. You don't have a permanent seating where you go every day, but wherever there's space, you can just sit there and do your work. And for the younger generation, they are looking for more than numeration. They are looking to make an impact. So they want to know that whatever that they are doing has an impact on the organization. They want it to be so that their voices are heard. So one way to make your workforce happier is to actually listen to them. However, that you can have a town hall, you can have a 360, or you can have even a suggestion box. But the thing is, if you ask for their voices, make sure that it is not just giving lip service. Yeah, make sure that if they are giving good suggestions, make sure that we can actually implement it in the organization.
Yeah, so right now it's I think like I agree with you. They are looking for purpose and all that, and I feel personally like our organization we have it's easier to maintain and get talents because they also see a purpose in what they're doing. So I do agree with that, and I think our generation we do want to have something so that at least when we are nearing our deathbed, we if we look at our life, at least we are doing something. It's not just working, right? So I think, like you say, work-life balance, living a more wholesome. It's not just about the money. But right now we are seeing a lot of trend changing after the pandemic. And from what you're seeing or what you're studying, what are some of the future trend that is upcoming in terms of happiness, general happiness?
Well, the biggest trend that I see, if you're looking at an organization wide, it's working from home. Before the pandemic, a lot of employees felt that I cannot let my staff work from home. The productivity will go down, things will not get done. But again, learning or getting positive things from things which are not good or negative things from the pandemic, we actually learned that yes, we can actually still do work even if we are from home. Yeah, so the future trend is that a lot of employees are looking to work from home, if not 100%, maybe a hybrid kind of working culture. Yeah, where you work maybe 15 days in the office and 15 days at home. Yeah, and uh, in Malaysia, there's a trend that's starting to catch up, which is called the digital nomad. And digital nomads are people who are working usually in the gig economy, and they do not have a fixed office or a fixed working place, and they can actually do work wherever that they want. And I would like to also consider that I am one of the digital nomads, because I do a lot of trainings, and my trainings are usually not in Klang Valley. My trainings, I've done trainings in Sabah, Sarawak, Labuan, in Johor, Malacca, even Langkawi, Perlis. So it's all over the place. So I don't actually stay fixed at one point. So when people ask me, where are you based? Well, I'm based in Malaysia. I can be anywhere that I want. I can be anywhere that my client wants me to be. So I think that gives a lot of satisfaction, especially to the younger generation, where they can actually, uh, you know, they choose their working hours, and they choose where they want to work. And Alhamdulillah, I've had the privilege of working at really, really great places, resorts. Then because I do a lot of team buildings, and team buildings are always done at beautiful places. So Alhamdulillah, that has been a great blessing for me. So another future trend that I see is that people are starting to shun away from long working hours. Yeah, people are looking for more of a flexi kind of working hours, and I see that a lot of organizations are also moving towards that. I was once with an organization that promoted flexi working hours in the oil and gas industry, where in a week you need to only work 40 hours. Doesn't matter if you work 10 hours every day, and our working hours is only 4.5 days. So at, at that organization, on Fridays it's always only a half day. So from Monday to Thursday we work 10 hours. Doesn't matter if you come in at 6 o'clock, then after 10 hours you can go back. Doesn't matter what time it is. Yeah, so I hope that a lot of employers will actually take up this banner and uh, move away from the traditional kind of working hours.
Yeah, and as well, we right now have the labor law being looked into as well.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of things that are looking towards becoming, I think, more balanced and also more benefit for the Malaysian in general. Of course, the employer, some employers might have something against it, but I think for the benefit for our future and for sustainability of a lot of our people, we need to
yeah.
have those flexibilities and those upgrade. So we are at the end of the show. Before we end the show, Coach, a few last word in terms of happiness in adversity.
Okay, to all of you who are watching right now, if you face any challenges, if you face any difficulties in life, the first thing that you need to do is smile, because whenever you smile, everything becomes easier. And I always tell this to my coaches: doesn't matter whatever that you're doing, even if you're speaking in front of 1,000 people and you feel nervous. Yeah, a lot of us would rather die than do public speaking. So the first thing that you do to conquer your fears is to always smile. And I am known as the man who is always smiling. Doesn't matter what happens, I'm always smiling. Yeah, so I hope that you will have a full life, and no matter whatever challenges that you happen to stumble across, always keep that smile and you'll always be happy.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So thank you very much, Coach, for sharing your story. If you want to connect with Coach Shimi, do contact him through his Facebook. You can search Coach Shimi. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you also, audience, for spending your lunch with us. If you like this episode, please share it. To continue learning, subscribe to our YouTube page for content and updates. Follow me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. See you next week. And as always, have a green week ahead. Bye bye, guys.